From the Augusta National Golf Club in Augusta, Georgia, CBS Sports proudly presents the 1991 Masters Tournament.
Spring's highest drama is always housed on this property in Augusta, Georgia. The backyard theatrically spanning below the hilltop, all within view from the veranda above. A century ago, this stage was the first and largest plant nursery in the South. Today, its heritage is ever present. From the azaleas and dogwoods to the soaring pines, this is the Augusta National. And this is the final act for the 1991 Masters. It will likely occur here at 18, a place where great men have seen their dreams and illusions turned into reality. The walk up the 18th as a Masters champion is golf's version of an encore. The uphill climb, even symbolic of man's quest to be the best. Arnold Palmer experienced it 4 times. A fatigued Ben Hogan savored the moment after tying the back nine record at the age of 54. The youthful exuberance of Seve Ballesteros when he became the youngest winner. Who can forget Ben Crenshaw's emotional steps into golf history? Or the 6 times Jack Nicklaus walked with destiny, the last in 1986. Today, one man will turn his blurred visions into a moment of a lifetime. Will it be Nick Faldo for a magical 3rd year in a row? Or Raymond Floyd, his sights on a green jacket that escaped him last April? Larry Mize is poised to win, as he did in '87. You can see it in his eyes. Lanny Wadkins will see if his stab at a first green jacket will be successful this time. Then there is the fiercely talented young Spaniard named Jose Maria Olazabal, who is set up for a possible Sunday walk. Tom Watson knows what awaits at the 72nd hole. The 2-time Masters winner this week has brought back his Tom Sawyer smiles of yesteryear. And then there is golf's Tom Thumb, the 5-foot 4.5-inch Welshman Ian Woosnam, who is on the threshold of taking his first bow at the 18th in a major. Today we'll be with them all every step of the way on their uphill walk to the green jacket. It's time for the Masters. And this is Ian Woosnam live for par at 7 to stay in a tie for the lead now in the final round of the Masters. Your leaderboard, Jose Maria Olazabal, deadlocked with Woosnam, who has just made a par at the 7th hole. And here come a whole slew of Americans. Tom Watson at -9. Steve Pate tearing it up today. He's 6 under in his play through 16 at -8. Lanny Wadkins has been charging all week on the back nine. And how about Hale Irwin? He has just come in with a 66, including a 30 on the back nine, which ties the back nine record at Augusta National, last set by Jack Nicklaus in his final day back in 1986. Ben Crenshaw at -7. He's 4 off the pace. Now, this is earlier. Nick Faldo, his 3rd shot on the par 5 2nd hole. 2 years ago, when he won his first Masters, he eagled this hole all the way across the green, and today he holes it out for another eagle. That got Faldo the 6 under par. At the first, Olazabal from the back fringe, putting for birdie. He was 3 shots back when the day began. And he jumps out of the gates with a birdie at 1. Tom Watson's putting, as all golfers know, has been woeful in recent years. He had a tester right away at 1 for par. So Watson slipped at the first, paired with Ian Woosnam, who at number 4 had this putt for par. Watch his reaction. Thought he had made it. He had birdied the 2nd. That's a bogey at 4 for Woosnam. Meanwhile, at 5, a big breaking putt for Olazabal for birdie. And a few olays from the gallery for Olazabal as he got to 10 under par at number 5. Woosnam, though, playing in the group behind him. came back with a birdie putt of his own. That got wee woozy at the time to 12 under par. And what was a 2-shot lead. Tom Watson for par. Remember, he'd missed one at the first. And at the fifth, a bogey for Watson. The short putts again devastating for him today. Woosnam at 6. This is his putt for par, sliding by. And he dips to 11 under. And now the chance to catch him at 7. Jose Maria for the birdie. And that got it all even at 11 under par. We saw Woosnam with his save at 7. So the young man from Spain, the 25-year-old Olazabal at 11 under, with the man from Wales, 33-year-old Ian Woosnam, in a tie for the lead at -11 with Tom Watson 2 shots back. It's a beautiful spring day on this golf course that just exudes the feeling of springtime. Warm temperatures, partly cloudy skies as the forecast has improved. And now it's my pleasure to introduce you to the gentleman who will be positioned on the back 9 of the final round.
I'm Bob Murphy, and I'll be reporting from the 10th hole.
And I'm Steve Melnick. I'll be covering the par 4 11th hole, and I'll also be at the famous par 3 12th.
I'm Tom Weiskopf, and I'll be at the par 5 13th hole here at Augusta.
I'm Gary McCord. I'll be on the 14th hole.
I'm Ben Wright. I'll be reporting the play from the 15th hole, a straightaway par 5 of 500 yards. And from the 16th hole, a par 3 measuring today 178 yards.
I'm Vern Lundquist, and I'll be at the par 4 17th hole.
And I'm Pat Summerall. I'll be at the 18th hole. Now here's our CBS golf analyst, Ken Venturi.
Today, all the players have a game plan, but they're not all the same. Yesterday was moving day. You had to try to separate yourself from the field. You took chances and you gambled when it called for it. Because the field was bunched together, you're trying to put yourself in position to win the tournament. Today is different. The field is spread out. And those who are far back must gamble and take chances right away. Those who are near the lead must be aggressive, but cautious. And the leaders, they must be patient and conservative and see how the situation develops. 3 holes will make the difference, and they're all on the back 9, and they all have water. The 12th hole is not long, but very demanding. And one thing is for sure, you don't win the tournament at 12, but you can lose it. And then there's a par 5 13th. When I think of 13, 5 numbers come into my mind. 3 all the way to 7. Even if you have the distance, a lot depends on the lie and the angle. And the 15th hole, you must hit a long drive. You've got to go for the green. Because if you make 5 there, you're losing a shot to the field. And if you have to lay up, you have a downhill pitch shot to an elevated green. So if you are to become the Masters champion, a lot will depend on the success you have on these 3 holes.
And hi, everybody. I'm Jim Nance. It's my pleasure to welcome you to CBS Sports coverage of the final round of the 1991 Masters. I'll be positioned here in the Butler cabin throughout the day, right up to the green jacket ceremony. You know, in the last 8 years, only once has the 3rd round leader gone on to win the green jacket. Olazabal is in trouble on the par 5 8th hole. Let's go there live.
This is his 4th shot. Failed to reach the green in 3, and this is a hole that's playing relatively easy today. It's downwind, 535 yards. I would venture a guess he was in trouble to the left side. He is 8 under par on the par 5s this week. Here's Lanny Watkins. This his 3rd shot. Now that will leave Lanny with an uphill putt coming back. The hole today cut deep back left side. This 8th hole surrounded by mounds, no bunkers. Let's go to the 10th.
Back in the fairway, Raymond Floyd. Long shot, the wind today into the player's face. You can see that Raymond's standing on the side of the hill. 208 yards to the pin. Good hard 3-iron. And an excellent shot. Raymond's left it some 35 feet below the hole, and we'll go to 17.
Steve Pate's 2nd shot. He is 6 under par for his round thus far today. And 2 feet away from going 7 under and climbing to within 2 of the lead, Steve Pate. Back to the 10th.
Ian Baker Finch from approximately 185 yards. Also trying to work the ball right to left, as did Raymond. And it just stuck in the right fringe and did not pitch left to 15.
Jack Nicklaus 4-iron. 195 yards. The flagstick having a poor day, I'm afraid. Started at 4 under, back to level par, but he has an eagle opportunity as we go back to the 17th.
Steve Pate now only 2 off the lead. The key hole in his round today, the 8th. He had an eagle, the only eagle of the day on the par 5, 8th. And now Steve Pate, who started at 2 under, is at 8. Olazabal, this is for par. And a 4-footer coming back for his bogey. His second shot is what set up the difficulty on this hole. He hit a hook deep into the woods left. And now will fall out of the lead by at least 1 shot. This is the next to the last pairing, Lanny Wadkins and Jose Maria Olazabal. Woosnam and Watson right behind them. Lanny Wadkins currently 3 off the pace. Scott Simpson playing with Jody Mudd today. Crenshaw and Jacobson are paired together. Ian Baker Finch and former champion Ray Floyd. Larry Mize and Andrew McGee. Next to last pairing, Olazabal and Wadkins. And the final twosome of the day, Ian Woosnam and Tom Watson. Lanny Wadkins playing this hole is 6 under par on the par 5s, but here on the 8th hole, bogeyed the first day, parted the second day, and birdied it in yesterday's 3rd round. And this is for birdie. Wadkins within 2. And keep in mind that backhanded stab and a missed putt on the 9th hole on Friday when he double bogeyed the hole. Olazabal for bogey now. Might cost him dearly. Might. And he drops 1 back of Ian Woosnam, who's waiting in the fairway. It's the Welshman on top, the young Spaniard in 2nd, Steve Pate, Lanny Wadkins, and Tom Watson tied for 3rd, followed by Hale Irwin and Ben Crenshaw.
Leaving the serenity of Augusta National Golf Club, you would never expect the rush of activity outside the gates. Augusta's expansive growth has produced its share of congested areas, but also areas of great beauty. This is the 2nd largest metropolitan area in Georgia. Vibrant, progressive Augusta. Since 1736, Augusta has been a colonial trading post, a capital city of Georgia, and a 19th century cotton boom town. Its many landmarks include historic homes, churches, and public buildings. The remains of the Confederate powder works still stand near 100-year-old cotton mills. The cotton trade has given way to industry as the base of Augusta's broad economy, fortified by health technology and national defense. Augusta is the home of the Medical College of Georgia and Fort Gordon, home of the U.S. Army Signal Corps. Augusta's Riverfront District, once the headquarters of its cotton trade, is the center of downtown redevelopment. The revitalization of the Riverwalk area and nearby Broad Street is attracting specialty shops. And Augusta's many annual festivals and sporting events back to historic downtown. Every spring, the Masters Golf Tournament brings thousands of visitors and millions of television viewers to the Augusta National. Augusta, Georgia, the city beyond Magnolia Lane. Well, Californian Steve Pate is about to post a very good score. He's at 9 under par. Should he par 18, he would shoot 65 today, which would tie him with Billy Ray Brown as the lowest 18-hole score in this tournament. Brown's came on Friday. And there he is at 18. Let's join Pat Summerall and Ken Venturi.
And Steve Pate, who's had an unbelievable day. Birdies at 1, 2, 4, 13, 15, 17, an eagle at 8. So far at 18, he's made par, bogey, par. That's the way the hole looks. Uphill. Second shot's with a long iron and a treacherous green. Woods on the right and those two fairway bunkers down at the bottom.
Jumbo Ozaki was playing his shot. You couldn't see him behind the tree. That's why Pate was kind of walking around. And
here comes Jumbo.
He didn't have any shot at the green at all.
Steve Pate.
Probably about 170 yards. He's got to cut it a little bit. But if he's going to bail any place, it's better to overcut it than it is to leave it left down the hill. So, but I'll tell you one thing. He'd like to make birdie here and just post that 10 and then sit in the clubhouse and see what the rest of the field will do.
Over to 8 first.
Our leader, Ian Woosnam. This is his third shot at the par 5. Come down. Back to 18.
Didn't like it. In the bunker. So finishing at 10 under par looks very slim right now. In fact, 9's going to be difficult to remain at.
In the meantime, back at 9, Olazabal.
Did not hit a good tee shot at all. Olazabal can make the ball go from right to left. He blocked it out coming down the hill, and he has left himself 205 yards, and the pin today is in a very difficult position. It's just about 12 feet from where it slopes down to the front of the green, and when you get behind this hole, it is really fast.
Olazabal, as Kenny said, 205 yards. Watkins just 135.
Watkins, who is very proficient at making the ball go right to left, but so is Olazabal.
Usually,
except made it go left at 8. But cost him a bogey on a hole that many of the players are making 4. This is difficult to get the ball close. This really is. This is, I mean, to get this close is, you get it within 20 feet would be an excellent golf shot.
5 iron.
Going left, bunker left, and not much green to work with. And you talk about being fast, coming out of that bunker and down that hill. Houdini could not leave it short of that green hole coming down that hill.
I don't know.
He's got enough talent to do it, though.
Back to 15.
Jack Nicklaus for an eagle 3. But alas, not his day. To 9.
Watkins with a 9 iron. Oh, bad bounce. That was a bad, but he just hit on the fringe. And I'll tell you one thing. If you want to look up the word fast, this putt would have a picture of this putt.
Meantime, back at 8.
Ian Woosnam for birdie. Bit of a side hill putt. So he will have to be content with par on the 8th. Woosnam playing in his 4th consecutive Masters in search of his first major championship. Now 33 years of age, and here is Tom Watson. This will be a par putt for Tom, and will keep him 2 off the pace. Watson 1 over on the round thus far through 8 holes on Sunday in Augusta. Trying to win his first Masters in 10 years. Let's go to 18.
Steve Pate has already hit.
He's put it up on the green, Pat, and a roll back down the hill. He's left himself 40 feet coming up the hill. That bunker shot, that long bunker shot, when you get it that long, you can put so much stuff on the ball, and when you hit up on the top, it just comes right back down the hill. So Pate now looking very much like he's going to make bogey and drop back to 8 under for the tournament.
Back at 9. Olazabal out of the bunker.
He's got to play this about 10, 12 feet to the left of the hole and then have it kind of check down as it goes fast. Just barely get it out of the bunker.
Well, he has to wait because Steve Pate made that putt at 18 from 40 feet. Now Olazabal.
We're not telling you anything you couldn't tell yourself. Just get this out. That's all you can do. That ball had to be buried. It had to be buried. There's no other way that he could possibly hit a shot like that. And after bogey in 8, he's now looking at sure bogey, maybe double.
In the meantime, the last 2 of the day, Ian Woosnam and Tom Watson back on the tee at 9. Got a good reaction. And the result is good.
Oh, yes. He's almost down to the crosswalk. You couldn't walk that out there any better than that. In fact, he hit it in the crosswalk. My gosh, we haven't seen one there.
And here's the reason for the roar a moment ago.
That would have gone in if it was an eyedropper.
Pate shoots 65. Back at 9, the troubles of Olazabal continue.
You take 2 holes where you wouldn't think that he could shoot scores like that, but bogey at number 8 with his length could easily reach the green.
Even to get this close from where he is would be a little miracle.
This has to be played from where he is a good. It's got a good 6 or 7 foot break to it, Pat.
Plus the speed is so important.
Speed is everything on this. Slow down.
Whoa ball.
We're talking big problems.
To go with big numbers.
Going into number 8, 11 under.
Back at 18. Ozaki. That's a 5 for him. 3 putts. I'm sorry, 6. Back at 9. Lanny Watkins having a long look.
I'll tell you how fast this putt is. If Lanny Watkins hits the putt and just walks normally to the hole, he'll beat the ball to the hole.
And the ball still might go in.
This has to start up to a point. There's a little sandy spot about 8 feet above the hole, which he'll probably aim at, and as it gets there, it'll turn directly left and come straight down the hill. The last 10 feet is just so swift. Watch this now. Think he'll make the green? Watch this, watch this. Slow down. That is fast. Lanny is going to make that be at 9 under. Olazabal has to make this to hope to be the 9 under.
This putt for bogey, then for Olazabal. Not easy by any means.
For him to, saying that this, we can go on all day. We'll say this putt is important, this putt is important. But what's difficult is to finish 8-9, go 6-6. It's bad enough to go bogey, bogey. That is a big bogey.
That's bogey, bogey, but that's good. That's a remarkable achievement to get down from where he was.
Now Lanny has this putt to stay at 9. So Olazabal and Lanny, if Watkins, if he makes this, will both go to number 10, 9 under. And as we say, the tournament starts Sunday afternoon on the 10th tee.
Now Steve Pate's also 9 under, but he's through. Crucial for Watkins.
Asked him about that when he backed hand the other day. He said, I don't think about it. Ooh, that's why they make the whole round, I guess. He'll take it.
And so the game is really on. Down in the fairway, Tom Watson and Ian Woosnam. Woosnam is only 105 yards away. Watson's 160.
Just in the short rough. This ball has to come in high. Tom can put it up in the air. Be behind the hole. Well, that's coming straight down, and we've told you how fast it was, and you'll be able to see this one too. Woosnam hit the biggest tee shot of the day. He put it in the crosswalk, and he's asking for a ruling. And the ruling will be that he is able to take it out of the crosswalk. It's lined off. You can play it if you like, but you also have the option of dropping back to get out of there. They class that as ground under repair. There's a rules man at each hole, and he's going down to give him his ruling. He's now marking where he can take it back. No nearer the hole.
And he will take it back. Back to 10.
On the tee at number 10, Lanny Watkins. Lanny with birdies at 7 and 8, big save at 9. Good driving hole for Lanny. Likes to get that hard draw. Catch the hill and motor down. Big drive. The diagram of the 10th hole. You can see how it dog legs to the left. That slope right in the middle. That's pretty harshly downhill there. Eyes of concentration. He said yesterday, my driver is not good. And there's another one. Not too bad, however. Not ideal, as Lanny's was certainly, but not an easy shot from up on the side of that hill. As they begin the walk down through the pine tree, some 100-foot drop. And they can see the scoreboard right to their right. You see Lanny peeking at it right now. Back to 9.
Woosnam is now 110 yards. He was 105. He moved it back.
Pitching wedge. Watch the action on this now. He'll just come back down the hill. Leave himself in good position, but he'll have at least a 2-foot break on this putt.
So Woosnam, the leader, at -11. Steve Pate just finished at -9. Willow, Olazabal, and Watkins and Watson.
Ian Woosnam in his 4th Masters, leading by 2. He has already claimed 2 victories this year, the Mediterranean Open, and he won at New Orleans last month, his first win in America. Larry Mize is at -7, right where he started. Billy Mayfair, a 66 today to get the 6 under. Great tournament for him, gutsy little player. Let's go back out to 9 to Pat Summerall.
Tom Watson downhill.
He's got a chance. That ball was barely moving. It might not get to the hole, and he puts it by 3 feet.
Over to 12.
Perfectly positioned Ben Crenshaw to move 8 under. Ooh. Hit a wonderful shot from the tee. The flagstick today in the most inaccessible position in the back right. He has to be disappointed with that effort as we go back to 9.
The leader, Ian Woosnam.
We've seen Ray Floyd putt from here, and I've seen a couple other players play from here, and they've all missed it on the low side. Pretty hard to play it high enough because when the ball dies getting slow, Pat, it just goes sideways. He's got to play on this. I'd say he'd have to play at least 2 to 2.5 foot break.
And again, the speed is the crucial thing.
Speed here is everything. Far more important than line, because you can miss the line by 6-8 inches, because once it starts sideways it goes straight down the hill.
Speed.
Well, he had speed, he had line, and he had a 3. But
Over
Watson's
to 10.
got some work cut out.
To 10.
Olazabal back on the hill. Difficult shot now, coming downhill. 3 iron.
Please stand still at the button.
Little motion. Take your time. Gather your thoughts now. You've just bogeyed 8 and bogeyed 9, and you're headed into arguably the hardest 9 holes on Sunday in golf. Oh, that's left. That's hard left, which happens when you're standing on the hill. That's left of the people. Could be very dangerous down there. There are some small bushes, some camellia bushes down there. Hence the name of the hole, Camellia. Lanny now has just driven it perfectly, and Lanny is already playing. And a beautiful shot, hole high. Lanny birdied 7, birdied 8. Excellent par putt on 9. Those kinds of things fire him up. Can watch him go through this back 9. Back on the tee. In. Excellent birdie there at 9. You get the idea this guy's a little fighter. Ken Venturi looks like he's got the right mood, the right character to play well here.
He has a great pace, Murphy. Both of them, I think Watson and Woosnam, if they put them ahead, they'd lap the field. They'd finish 3 holes ahead of the groups.
Oh yeah, you could play Lanny with them and they'd be 2 hours and 30 minutes.
He's got a good attitude. Look at he's. You think he's determined?
Yeah, it should be off the list, mate.
He said, "There's one thing left for me to do: win a major." Good driving hole for Ian. Likes to play the draw. Perfectly positioned hole for him. again, right down where Lanny put it earlier. Makes it look so easy.
I've been amazed, Murph, at Watson's length this week. He has hit some tremendously long drives.
Tom's been working on his game, doing some stretching as well, and as a result, it seems to be putting the club in much better position at the top. That hung up just a little bit, but it's not quite, didn't quite get the angle of the hill. So close. Good tee shot, not bad at all. And we go to you, Jim Nance.
Thank you, Bob. Steve Pate's best performance ever in a major, tied for third back in the '88 U.S. Open, but a 65 today, and you're right in it, posting a 9-under par score. Did you have a target score when you came out here today, starting out at 200?
No, I had no target score at all. I was just trying to come out and play as well as I can. It seems like every time I get a number in my head out here and try to force things, I usually shoot 75 or something. I've only played here 3 times, but what experience I do have here is, you know, even getting a harmless-looking uphill putt, every time I think, boy, I got one that's easy, I'm going to take a run at it, usually bad things happen. So I just hit it and find it and hit it again.
Your best previous performance here was a tie for 26. Now, your second shot at 17, just sensational. Tell us about it.
Well, I felt good over the shot. I knew I could hit it on line, but I hadn't hit a shot the proper distance on that hole all week. I had 150 yards. I thought the wind was blowing right to left, and I went with that and hoped it was right, and it was.
And here's your putt at 18 for par. How about this?
Blind luck. I drove it. It looked like bogey off the tee. I really didn't have any chance to get it on the green, and when I left my bunker shot short, I was just trying to get the putt up there somewhere close, and it fell in.
All right, Steve. Congratulations again, and maybe we'll see you back here later.
I hope so. I'm not leaving yet.
Okay. Steve Pate with a 65 today. Back out to Bob Murphy at 10.
Olazabal has just played a world-class pitch shot. Watch this. Out of our sight. Here comes the ball. Fabulous, and that's what you have to do at Augusta. You are going to miss some greens. You know you're going to miss some greens. You have to play some hard pitch shots. Lanny taking his time. Good read on this putt. Hard breaker right to left. Slightly downhill. Boy, we've seen some incredible putting on this hole today. Right where Lanny is presently, I have seen no less than 8 guys miss that putt of only 2 feet. We've only had 4 birdies at the 10th hole all day. And a lot of 3 putting. This will be a big save while Woozy and Tom wait patiently. Difficult little putt. This is a speed putt. There you can see the Jose Maria has played the front 9 1 under, the back 9 8 under par. So he's probably thinking very positively right now. This putt must be played in the hole, not out. It won't break right. Oh, he pushed it. Most unfortunate. How tough these short putts are here at Augusta. 3 bogeys in a row, and that is cause for concern. Lanny, with his experience here at Augusta, I'm sure knows this putt. Straight in the hole. Good speed, most importantly. Just like that. So Lanny and his pairing is gaining confidence as Olazabal makes mistakes. Tom Watson set to play now. From 185. 5-iron. Probably pull it off the bunker a little bit. And a good shot, good birdie position right below the hole. That's experience as well. Give me those uphill putts. Notice how both players play so quickly. They decide on the club, walk over to the caddy, take it out, and go.
That's the way it ought to be, Murph.
Good swing. I'm very impressed by Ian. I've watched him play for quite a few years. This one's off the green, however. And it's a touchy little chip coming back. So Ian remains atop. 3-shot lead over Steve Pate with a fabulous round this afternoon. Lanny and Tom Watson moving into the back nine. Calcavecchia hot this morning, 6 under par. Peter Jacobson, Andrew McGee also 6 under par.
Well, Ian Woosnam is ranked #1 in the world. In golf, they don't use the rankings like they do, say, in tennis, but still, nonetheless, he is ranked #1, even without having ever won a major. Here's a guy who has, Nick Faldo. Let's go back out to the action.
Jimmy, he's going to back off a second. Champion the last 2 years here at Augusta. I think all the dogs are back in the kennel. The hunt's off this year, I believe. He is currently at a -5, 7 shots back, a little woozy. He's got a birdie putt right here, though, pretty good one. You can see his pin. Hole's cut just to the other side of this caddy. Boom, right in the middle. Let's go back to 10.
Well, these are the chip shots that have been giving the players trouble, the overseeded ryegrass. You have to keep your blade very square and make sure you contact the ball and the ground at the same time. Otherwise, very sticky, you leave it short. Hurry up the hill. Hurry up the hill. Well, not bad. Some 4.5 feet below the hole, importantly. Tom Watson birdied this hole on Friday. One of 3 birdies made by the top 25 players in the tournament this week. Number 10 continues to be a very difficult hole. Tom had a 2-shot swing earlier when he 3-putted number 5, and Ian birdied. That was a good chance to possibly turn those tables. Ian's putt, of course, is not easy. This is a putt players have been fooled on today. They've left it short. I like Tom Watson's address now. He's much more comfortable taking the club back with good speed again. Nice putt. Those are so difficult. You see the turn of that ball the last 2 feet. Gallery's so appreciative, and then they quiet down immediately. Very respectful. Understanding totally what Ian has to do. This putt, you have to be very careful not to play it outside the left edge, believe me. Straight in the hole. begins with excitement and disappointment. We'll go down to 11.
Olazabal second shot. 195 yards out, the pin back left. Almost inaccessible. Three shots back of Woosnam. And that's a superb play from Olazabal. The ball you see there about 10 feet away, that of Lanny Watkins' second shot from 195 yards. Here it is moments ago. We've often said there's not a flagstick that Lanny can't find. Watkins 2 back, making the kind of swings that may bring with it a green jacket. 218.
Not much need be said as Nicklaus approaches.
Two other competitions at the Masters, low amateur, that's been claimed by Phil Mickelson, the 20-year-old sensation, U.S. amateur champion, and the man who won earlier this year at Tucson. Only a junior at Arizona State, he finished +2 to beat out Manny Zerman. And there's the race to finish in the top 24 at the Masters. The top 24 and ties qualify for next year's Masters. Right now, 24th would take you all the way back to -3. So these gentlemen you see are very aware of that, all except for the Masters champions of past who are given a lifetime exemption into this tournament. Woosnam the leader, and let's go back out to 18.
Jack Nicklaus. This is a par putt for Jack.
Left it short of the green on his second shot and then pitched it up to this length here, and this is to finish in red figures. No matter what he does, he has 6 green coats. I think over the years, Pat, watching him, I think he's made more putts at 18 or the 72nd hole than anyone I can remember.
Certainly as many as I can remember. It's for bogey then.
Olazabal to right a listing ship right now with 3 straight bogeys. Pace of the greens this week not as fast as in years past with the rains this week. This is really the first day of real sunshine we've seen. A disappointing par after that superb iron shot. After birdies at 1, 5, and 7, bogeys at 8, 9, and 10. To 15.
This is really Nick Faldo's last chance. If he makes an eagle here for 8 under, this is a 3-wood from 230. He could be in this yet.
Wow, that looks different. Right.
Way right. And that's in the crowd. He'll have quite a task to make even a birdie from there. Back to the 11th.
To pull within 1. Boy, after watching Olazabal's putt, Lanny did the same thing. Now, Lanny came out awfully early today to work on his putting, and you have to wonder whether it was to work on his putting or to maybe calm his nerves before this final round. Watkins making his 19th appearance here. Tom Watson making his 18th appearance here. Tom's caddy, Dave Musgrove, who As Jim Nance said earlier, caddy for Sandy Lyle here in 1988. Very impressed with Watson, how organized he is. 11th hole, anything but a pushover. Quite frankly, this first leg of Amen Corner has not played as difficult as years past. The normal swirling winds absent this year. 180 yards out. Looking right. Looking way right. For Watson, he was trying to play a hook off the right-hand side of the green, and it's hard to let it go when you're one shot out of the lead.
You know, Steve, when they go in that water, they got to go back to a drop area and go past the water again, and you're looking straight in the eye of a 6.
See what kind of player Woozy is. Similar shot from 180. Here's a man who has his nerves and his golf swing under control. It remains for someone to simply make more birdies than Woozy right now. Let's go to 13.
The second shot, Peter Jacobson from 230 yards. And in the middle of the green, close to the water on the right. Really an easy pin. But a tough shot. I sympathize. Almost perfect. But almost doesn't count here. Now, Ben Crenshaw. Kenny, we have 3 groups on this hole, and this group is one of which that is playing from the fairway. So this is going to create a weight and back things up a bit.
Well, the thing, Tommy, when they put in the water like Jacobson did, now you got to find a place where it entered, dropped back, find your place to drop it, put the ball, get on the green. It takes a lot of time.
Yeah, we've had players well left, hitting trees, bouncing back up further into the azaleas, losing their balls, you know, getting rollings. And anyway, Ben Crenshaw here has a 225-yard shot off this side hill lie. Actually a good position, I feel, for him, because he's a draw type of player to play into this green. Really, with the pin way right, it is really, I feel, probably the most accessible or the easiest pin that you could have on this hole, because if you do miss it left of the green, you still can pitch. So the lure is, do I fire at the pin or do I play to the left center and use the slope and allow that to bring the ball toward the pin?
That's the shot. Left center and let the slope take it at the pin.
Well, he's pulled that ball down into the swale. Not a difficult place to recover from, though. Actually a pretty easy pitch.
Tommy, there's a few pin placements that they haven't used this year. They haven't used the very front left of that green and the pin just over the water, have they?
No, they haven't, Ken. You know, an interesting thing about this hole, it looks like the players are actually playing down to the green. They're actually playing uphill on their second shot here, which lengthens it. Well, let's go back to Steve Melnick at 12.
Gorgeous view from behind the green as Olazabal prepares to play. A man who is age 24, demonstrated a maturity far beyond those young years. He has followed the lead of a Ballesteros and a Nicklaus and firing away from the flag signal while he's in the back bunker. That's, for him, not as difficult a shot as you might imagine. Moments ago, Lanny Watkins, who had the honor on the tee. Lanny taking the flagstick out of play.
That's their league.
Yeah.
Good play. Watkins playing conservatively, something that you might not figure, but out of respect for this dangerous 12th. Makes a good play to the middle of the green. Menacing Rays Creek. It doesn't look like much, and what becomes easy in practice becomes hard in tournament. Moments ago, this was Watson's third shot at 11, checked up quickly. So Watson having to work hard for par. That's something you don't want to do yourself as you're coming in with 9 holes to play here at Augusta. So Woozy has a chance to distance himself a possible 2-shot swing here to 15.
Tommy Nakajima for an eagle 3 to get to 8 under himself. Will obviously get to 7 under. Back to the 11th.
Woozy for birdie. Almost like at 15 yesterday, just hung it on the edge. Change putters from Thursday to Friday. Everything seems to be working nicely. This farmer's son from Wales, who was a Ryder Cup hero in '85 and '87, been in the top 3 of the European Order of Merit 3 of the last 4 years. Among his peers, it's not a surprise, his play this week. Nor is it for Tom Watson, who earlier this year gave indications that his greatness was back. And let's go to 13.
And that was the 4th shot of Peter Jacobsen, who elected to go back from the point of entry from the fairway, pitch across the stream. We'll go back to 11.
Watson for par. Meanwhile, at 12, Olazabal. It was Faldo in this back bunker last year. Played a wonderful shot and made par. He's among the best, and he showed it right there. What a gutsy play. Actually played an aggressive shot, put some spin on it, and you don't do it much better than that. Watson for bogey now. Tom began the day missing a short putt at 1, missed another short one at the 5th hole, and quite frankly probably doesn't feel that comfortable on certain putts. Man who's garnered the sentimental support of these very appreciative fans here at Augusta to 15.
Nick Faldo for a birdie after a marvelous chip out of the gallery in the background there. Moves to 7 under par, as does Tommy Nakajima, his fellow competitor, and we'll go back to the 12th.
What is great? As our leaders make their way to the 12th tee, Watson, Woosnam, Watkins, Olazabal play on 12. Lanny now to pull within 1. We've seen it all week. The screen's just a little bit slower. It's not without emotion that Lanny plays the game. First burst onto the scene is the national junior champion at age 13. What a wonderful 3 for Olazabal from the back bunker.
You're sitting there without a clue.
There's a backup on the 13th tee, so this group will have to wait some time to complete play on 13. And the final group of the day, back on 12. I don't expect Woozy would go with the flagstick. He doesn't need to go with the flagstick at this juncture.
Get out.
He's played to the center of the green.
Shot, mate.
There's a shot you would normally see a very experienced player make, and in Woozy's case, This is only his 4th appearance at Augusta, playing like an age-old veteran. Watson has a hard time playing left or right. If he wants to go at the flagstick, it's got to be left or right. I imagine he'll go at the middle of the green.
No, it's in the water. Darn it!
And with it, perhaps the hopes of a 3rd green jacket as Tom Watson commits the unpardonable sin here at 12. This hole does not set up well for him. And the golf swing and the subsequent shot seems to support that. Now he's got to make a heck of a play to try to salvage bogey. He has 3 options. He can replay from the tee. He can keep the point where it crossed the hazard between himself and the hole. Let's go to 13.
Earlier, a most needed birdie. Ben Crenshaw, 5 feet. That was terrible. Having an iron into this green and walking off with just a par. Forward to 16.
Tommy Nakajima at 7 under par, playing very well indeed. Started at 4 under. And that will leave him an excellent chance for another birdie as we go back to the 12th.
Watson playing quickly his 3rd shot, almost out of defiance to the previous shot he made. Got to absolutely be burning inside. He played himself into a perfect position. He's 1 shot out of the lead, and he does the one thing that he can't do here. You know, they say that you don't win the golf tournament at Amen Corner, but you can certainly lose it here. For Tom Watson, I hope that doesn't come true. The lengthening shadows here on the Sunday afternoon. The final 9 holes at Amen Corner have an unusual twist of a turn of events. This 12th hole, seemingly innocent 165-yard par 3, the most difficult hole at Augusta National this week. Watson trying to sort through these very difficult thoughts. To 13.
From 220 yards, Ian Baker Finch's 2nd shot. Probably a 2-iron. Earlier, Raymond Floyd from just behind Ian played to the left side of the green. That's where he's put his ball. A little inside of Raymond's. Very fine golf shot there. You kind of have a hole here, Kenny, where if you don't make 4 on it, you feel like you've made a bogey.
Well, you just have to protect from going right. You don't have any area there to go the right at all, like you saw Peter Jacobsen. You have to bail left. That's the only way to go.
Back at 12.
Watson and Woosnam really waiting for the group to play from the adjacent 13th tee. It may give Watson a time to sort through his thoughts. So in a sense, this may be a good break for Tom. Other scores of note: Rocco Mediate, the hottest player on tour this year. Good tournament for him, 4 under. That should get him back next year. Others, as you look down there, Phil Mickelson, as Jim Nance mentioned, low amateur this year. Disappointing tournament for both Lee Trevino and especially Tom Kite. So as Woozy and Watson wait, in fact, I believe it will help Watson slow down. I don't know what effect it might have on this man who, quite frankly, has thoughts of his first major championship well in sight. The game's finest player won for the first time in America several weeks ago. As we go forward to 16.
Nick Faldo played a very indifferent tee shot. He was disgusted with this one. He's got an incredibly difficult putt of that will describe a semicircle if it's to get anywhere near to the hole. A little bit of curling. Well, that was a wonderful effort. He is not letting go of his championship easily. I think those 4 rounds that he missed in Houston, potentially 4 rounds when that tournament was rained out last week, has cost him dear. He's too lightly raced, as they say in horse parlance. Back to the 12th.
Woozy can really put himself in a good position here should he make this putt for birdie. Could open up a 3-shot lead. If those of you joined us last year, you remember that Raymond Floyd left here with a 4-shot lead last year and didn't win to 16.
Tommy Nakajima for his birdie up the slope with a break from right to left. Oh, well, he missed by a whisker for his eagle at the 15th, and that could have made all the difference. He will remain at 7 under instead of being 9 to 12.
4th shot for Watson. Is it enough? So the pursuit of a 3rd title here at Augusta suddenly been derailed here at the innocent 12th. Fallow did in fact make his par here at 16 as Tom Watson left alone with his thoughts. For Woozy, this would be a solid par.
You know, Steve, this is the one where Faldo made the putt from behind Woozy there for a par 3 to keep him going.
Kenny, as you know, par always a good score here at 12, particularly on Sunday afternoon. Welshman Ian Woosnam, looking for his first major championship win, enjoys a 2-shot margin over Steve Pate and Lanny Watkins.
Steve Pate early with a 65 to post the 9 under par figure, and Hale Irwin with a 66 at -7. But Ian Woosnam carrying the banner of the United Kingdom. Remember, Sandy Lyle from Scotland won here in '88, and England's Nick Faldo in '89 and '90. And now the man from the Principality of Wales has a 2-shot lead as he approaches the final leg of Amen Corner. And out there at 13 is Tom Weiskopf.
Well, here's a good graphic of this hole. A beautiful, dramatic, strategic hole that measures only 465 yards. By par 5 standards, that's very short. However, the trouble on this hole makes it difficult enough. Believe me, from an elevated tee, they'll hit across a little valley up into a slope. Then from there, the hole almost turns 30 degrees to the left. Water always down the left side, always in play, coming back in front of the green and then protecting it on his right. We're looking at Raymond Floyd now, who putted up short from 60 feet, has this opportunity left from about 10 feet for a birdie. I would say this is a must for Raymond. A must. Just like Crenshaw, just on the left side there and couldn't walk off this green with a birdie. That's discouraging. 14, Gary.
From way back, Tom, 190 yards away, Ben Crenshaw, probably a 5-iron. This pin today on this 405-yard hole is in the 2nd level. Watch it roll right down there. Very nice shot. Ben playing his 20th Masters. Well, let's go to 13.
Okay, walking to the 14th tee, you see the group of Ian Baker Finch, Raymond Floyd. Back in the fairway, we now have the group of Larry Mize and Andrew McGee. First to play, Andrew McGee.
Tommy, I can't remember ever this long a wait or this many groups on 13.
Well, they've had so much trouble here just in the last hour, Kenny. They've had lost balls, rulings, just the most bizarre things you've ever seen. Trouble all around there, chipping across the green in the water, you know. It just slows up play. 210 yards, Andrew McGee. Mize is laid up. And when you've got a kind of a hanging lie like this, especially in a kind of a semi-rough position, it's hard to get that club face on the ball to control it. So your thoughts are directed immediately if you're going to this green to the left where those two bunkers are and that swale to the left. If I can get across over there, he's saying, then I have a chance to still pitch and make my 4. And if I hit a great shot, right where I thought he'd go, right over there, come down a bit, come down, he's okay. Good play.
It's so hard to cut it off that stupid hook line.
Yes, it is, Andrew. Now, on the tee, one of the best drivers in the game. Lanny's going to aim at those 2 trees at the end of the fairway, keep it close to those trees and try to draw it.
Stay there. Stay there.
That'll get your heart started.
Or stop it.
Boy, I'll tell you what, I wonder what Ian was thinking sitting on that bench, Kenny, watching that ball take off like that.
I'd tell you the long time for anybody is Tom Watson. You can see him sitting there with his head down, and you have to know if you've been there, Tommy, like we've been there, you know what he was thinking about.
Kenny, there's so much golf left, so much, you know, can happen and has happened and probably will happen. Now, gather my thoughts on the tee. Jose Maria Olazabal. Start that ball out to the right. He's not driven well today and try to draw it. Using the slope, shortens the hole. Well, that explained it. It was off to the right, came off that ball, trying to draw it, but, you know, he still has a chance from there to reach the green. He's still in the game. Got to pick yourself up, Jose. Forward to 17.
Nick Faldo. Second shot, 155 yards out. Well, he's in quest of his 3rd Masters Championship in succession. He is only 4 off the lead, but a hole and a half left, back to 14.
Trying to get to 8. Trying to tie for 4th place. 2 in a row he's missed. This hole today is cut in a very easy position. Guys are just firing at this flagstick. A lot of birdies today. Let's go to 17.
Tommy Nakajima, who has had a wonderful last half of this 91 Masters. And Nakajima is safely over the bunker, but a long uphill putt. Back to 14.
Begrudgingly, he'll go to the 15th tee. 2 missed birdie opportunities. Pounding hard in his head. You can see total disgust right there when Ben misses putts. He gets hot. Fourteenth hole. No bunkers, no water. Dog leg left, uphill. Let's go back to 13.
Just off the green in the left swale. Andrew McGee playing his 3rd shot. Has a lot of green to work with. All he has to do is loft this ball up under the green and let it feed down to the hole. The problem really is his stance. He's standing much above the ball. He has to reach down. The lie is pretty flat. He must make 4 for any chance at all. 5 under at this point. Confused. Now, do I break that hand under to give it more loft, or do I get my hands ahead and hit up and let the loft of the club do it? This is a touch shot. Let's see what happens. It's picking up speed. Beautiful golf shot. Beautiful golf shot.
The 1976 champ from 160 yards, Raymond Floyd. Catch that knoll. There it goes. A couple of years ago, that would have gone all the way right down by that flagstick. But you can see how much slower these greens are this year. Let's go back to 13.
Okay, Jose Maria Olazabal up on top of this knoll. He has 225 yards approximately to the flagstick. Water in front of the green on the right entirely, protecting this green. Really gets down, Kenny, to the lie. You know, I think he's got a level stance. It just depends on how good this lie is and how much control. Lanny Watkins wasn't around the corner. He had to lay up. There's his shot coming right down the fairway, breaking to the left off the slope. Very good position to really attack the pin from on his third play. There's the graphic. Lanny just hit it thin off the tee.
Tommy, I think that Olazabal will go for the green. I really do. But there's two things he probably will be. It'll either be left or long, because that's where he has to bail. He is 8 under. He's 3 back, but he's got to make something happen.
Kenny, let me tell you. Let's go forward first to 17.
Nick Faldo. Such an indifferent start in quest of his third jacket. He had rounds of 72 and 73. Not that bad, 1 over par, but there were 43 golfers between Faldo and the lead. Jumped over quite a few yesterday with an outstanding round of 67 and has moved on up again today, but maybe too late. This for birdie and would bring him within 3. Oh. Just a little more oomph. Well, that may put the plug in it. Nick Faldo back to 15.
We haven't heard much of Jody Mudd because he went very quickly from 5 at the start to 3 under. He's got his way back to 6 under. This is for an eagle 3. Yes, he gets to 8 under par. And leaps up the leaderboard, the 15th eagle of the tournament this year. And he hit the green from the right rough with an 8 iron as we go back to the 13th.
Andrew McGee, birdie opportunity, 5 feet, slight right to left putt. Excellent putt. Now getting back to Jose Maria Olazabal, Kenny, I really feel that if he goes for the green, then we know that he feels that he has a club that he feels comfortable that he can carry the stream with. That's his biggest problem, that stream, isn't it?
Well, he has enough length to clear the stream, Tommy. It's that he's going to protect going right is what he has to protect against.
Kenny has also one other problem, as Larry Mize taps in, is the fact that there's an overhanging limb ahead of him about 20 or 15 yards, so it doesn't give him the chance to put the ball up in the air very quickly. So he has to hit the ball fairly low, even though he's a low ball hitter. That limb is in somewhat of a way if he's trying to get it up in the air quick.
Well, if that's the case and he can't get the ball high, I really expect him to be left and long.
Yes. This is a tough shot. This is difficult. He's playing to approximately about a 30 square yard target.
He's putting his tournament on this shot.
He just hit it too good. He hit an excellent golf shot right through the middle of the green. And he's rolled down into the swale. Not too bad from there at all. Now we test the short game. On the tee now, Ian Woosnam. He heard that applause, so he knows standing on this tee that Jose has hit his second shot safely and probably somewhere around the green. So he's collecting his thoughts after this long wait.
Tommy, you're a good driver and a long driver, but you've got to give this tee shot air. You've got to keep it out to the right.
You're right. Aim at those 2 trees and just bust it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Hooked it, didn't he?
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Oh. Well, two things you worry about, obviously, in Ian's mind. Am I in the water? Secondly, can I find my ball?
Good swing, Phil.
Now, there's an official down there somewhere, and hopefully he's seen the ball.
That's the only shot right there that can hurt you on this hole. You got to keep out, even where Olazabal went anything to the right, not left.
Now, Tom Watson.
Dale. Sorry.
Boy, did he turn it great there. Kenny, that is a beautiful drive. And I'm sure that Ian's drive pumped him up. Just gave him more confidence that I'm back in this game. A lot of holes left to play. And at this time in the final round, our leader is Ian Woosnam, 11 under.
Jim Nance, welcome back to the Masters again. Amen Corner has become a big factor in the Masters, the last leg of it. At 13, Ian Woosnam, it's confirmed now, has driven it into the water on the par 5 13th. So often this back nine is such an equalizer in this tournament. And let's go out to Tom Weiskopf. And Tom, I guess the big question right now is where will he drop it?
Well, that's a determination, Jim, that will be made by those officials and the players. They will determine the point of entry. Now, being a water hazard, he has three options. He must keep the point of entry between himself and the hole, or he can go back to the tee where he last played from, lane 3 from there.
I guess people enjoy that here in the water.
He can go to a designated ball drop if in fact there is one down there, but I don't think there is.
That's the ball that bounced out of the tree, but it just should be.
Now, behind the green, Olazabal, third shot, delicate little pitch, up over the contour, down the plateau, picking up speed. Boy, is this good. Very good. Very good. Of course, he's unaware of what's happened behind him, and that's what you have to keep in mind in this game. You have to play your game. You can't control what anybody else does. Let's listen now and see if we can pick up what's being determined. You can tell the pressure, Kenny, is affecting Ian, because I think he made a comment. I hope they're all happy that I hit it in here, you know, and I hope no one clapped. They would never do that here, but maybe that was just to get it off my chest type of thing.
Well, you say those things kind of, you know, with the microphones there, you say those things to yourself and kind of, you know, you're mad inside yourself, so that you're absolutely right. You're getting it off your chest, and you're just, you know, just saying, you know, pull yourself together, and if they're happy, well, if they're happy, I'm going to show them what I can really do.
That's right. Now, this is a touchy little shot. Where do I play from now? Where do I try to give myself the best advantage now? You can see where he's located, and trying to get the ball into position to pitch at, because he can still make 5. He is playing his third shot. Cannot see the green at all. He's played it up the right-hand side into the gallery. Boy, is this tough now. Boy, has he left himself in trouble from the standpoint of difficulty of the fourth shot.
This was Jody Mudd a few minutes ago at 8 under par. Watch it feed down towards the hole.
Back to the 13th. Olazabal, 9 feet. Birdie. And now he goes to 9 under. Excellent, excellent birdie. Now, Lanny Watkins also has it just under 9 feet, about 8 feet. Everybody has missed this putt to the right. It's a speed putt. If you hit it hard, it doesn't break. If you don't hit it, it breaks a lot. Didn't hit it. Discouraging, but he's still in the game. This is how it looks right now. Ian Woosnam in trouble at 13. 11 under. Followed closely in the clubhouse, Steve Pate. Olazabal, 9 under. Lanny Watkins, 9 under. Back in the fairway, Tom Watson. 195 yards, 5 iron.
He's one that has to fire at the flag, Tommy.
Boy, he's done just that. What a great shot.
Don't sell him out yet.
Now, too much patience in that game, too much experience. Always uses his composure. I think he's looking up there where Ian's going to be playing his 4th shot from. There's Ian. He's up on the top of the hill. Kenny, this is a tough little shot.
Well, I was saying before when we opened it up is that every time I think of this hole, I bring in 5 numbers. You can make 3 like Tom Watson might make, and you can make 7s. You can make any number here. This is probably, to me, one of the most exciting holes in golf.
Kenny, he's about 120 yards approximately. He's got a slight side heel line. Let's listen. 20 means that's 60 feet from the front of the green. It's actually just 11 feet from the edge of the fringe. Trying to pick a line. Get a grip on it. Ian?
Tommy, what he has to do is has something that he can hit full, take the water out of play. If you're going to make 6, make sure that's the worst score you make.
He can put some spin on this ball and use that slope behind the pin. Well, I think that's what he tried to do, Kenny, and he just went over the top of it and hit it too strong. So he lies 4. Difficult putt to try to expect to make 5s with. 16.
Jody Mudd. And that will cost him dear. That was for the birdie. That could have got him to 9 under. To join those at the moment tied in 2nd place. Pate, Olazabal, and Watkins. And now Ray Floyd looking anxiously to the right. And there it is. Bounced off, I think, one of those lawn chairs. It made a sound as if it had hit metal. Back to the 16th, and Jody Mudd for par remains at 8 under. And now Ben Crenshaw for his 2nd successive eagle here. And don't count him out, he goes to 9 under par. And he has gone birdie, birdie, eagle, eagle here at the 15th hole. He holed it from the bunker yesterday, and there you see it. 4 tied for 2nd at the moment at 9 under, and we'll go back to the 13th.
This is getting exciting, Ben.
A little.
Well, there's so many things that can swing here just on this hole. We could have, if Ian even makes this putt for 5, we could have a 2-stroke swing. If he misses and makes 6, we can have a 3-stroke swing between he and Watson. Brings him back to the field. I mean, this is not what you would say a makeable putt. This is not that easy of a putt if you become careless. Not to 3-putt. It is off a ledge from about 45 feet. It comes down off that ledge with a sharp break to the right in the last 6 feet. Most everybody has left this putt today short. It's not as fast as some of the greens that he has previously putted. This putt remains for a par, 45 feet, Ian Woosnam. Oh, Good try, though. Excellent putt. Excellent putt. Well, this remains for 6. Forward to 16.
Ben Crenshaw, 178 yards to the flag. Bringing it in from right to left, around the bunker. And just pumped up, I'm sure. Just that little bit too much. Back to the 13th.
Okay, our leader, Ian Woosnam, is at 10 under. Tom Watson is at 7 under. This remains 12 feet to pull within 1. Eagle opportunity. A great tee shot, a great second shot. Trying to follow with the one thing that has been a little suspect, the putt.
Oh my gosh! Here we go. Here we go, fans.
Things are popping all over, and let's see what Lanny can do. 9 under par, pins in a perfect position. Perfect position. Releases, look at this. That's to get Lanny to -10. This pin today on 14 has got to look like a big hot dog on a stick to these guys. In the second level, anything to the left of the flag feeds right down to it. I got my seatbelt on up here. This is getting kind of fun. Olazabal, 160 yards, probably a 7-iron. He is now only 1 shot behind. I'd like for this ball to be very close too. He'll land just to the right of the tower.
Come on, get in the hole. Get it.
Those roars you hear from the scoreboard on 18 when everybody sees the scores posted. Watch this shot. Beautiful. That's only about 6-7 feet away. Birdies are flying. Hearts are flying. Little Woozy is clinging to a 1-shot lead over just about everybody.
Yes, it's turned into another Masters Classic. And how about Ben Crenshaw and that group just 1 out of the lead? He recently won the Bob Jones Award, given to a man whose devotion and love for the game reflects the Masters founder, Bob Jones. Still out to the tee at 14, Gary McCord.
Little Woozy cranked it up, turned around, acknowledged the crowd. Just killed it down the middle. I mean, killed it. 1-shot lead now. And now Tom Watson. You saw his ball there. This is earlier. I think everybody's getting a little worked up out here. What do you think? Both players absolutely perfect. And let's go to the 18th.
Nick Faldo for his par.
Champion makes bogey, finishes at 6 under, but you'll see him a little later because he is the one who will put the coat, the green jacket.
He made a gallant effort. Question now is what size jacket? Back to 14.
Pat, I would think he's probably the busiest guy here at Augusta National, the valet. Working his way from one end of the closet to the other. This is probably a 42 regular right here. He makes this to tie for the lead in the championship. Downhill, just hanging on the right edge. Actually a pretty easy putt. The Spaniard is now tied from the little man from Wales. And it's getting very, very crowded here at the top. Lanny has got one of these putts you dream of. It's straight up the hill. Don't overfigure it. To put him in a tie with Olazabal and Woosnam. Lanny looked like he came straight up out of that putt. Just came straight up out of it. Didn't get enough speed, and it just went to the right. Oh, man, you look at that putt, and you look at that little one he jacked the other day. Oh, and he's only one shot back. Let's go to 16.
Ben Crenshaw will need a lot of his wizardry here to chip this one down that glassy slope. Better slow down. Well, the good thing about it is that it's below the hole. Just had the adrenaline pumping a little too hard. To 14.
Tom Watson after that eagle. Taking dead aim, looking at the flag, looking at the flight. Badly pulled there with that little shot. That was only 155 yards, probably an 8-iron. Got over it just a little bit. Now look at this. Look at these two guys. 2-shot swing on 10. 1-shot swing there, and then, whoop, another 2-shot swing, and another 2-shot swing. Best ball tournament, they'd be doing great. Little woozy. Oh, a nice looking little swing there. 145 yards away. Did the same thing as Tom, got over it just a little bit. Ian's swing might be getting a little short. All his shots are going left. You can see him cutting off his follow through just a little bit. But I wonder why he's getting nervous. It's the final round here at Augusta. The Spaniard, Olazabal, and Ian Woosnam from Wales tied for the lead.
At this moment, it's Olazabal and Woosnam tied for the lead, but 4 golfers just a shot back. Jack Nicklaus and Nick Faldo are the only 2 men to ever win back-to-back Masters. And Nick Faldo, you went for 3 in a row this year. You really got started on the weekend, it appeared, and I can just sense the disappointment right now as you see where the lead is at 10 under par. It was within range, really, coming in today, wasn't it?
Right, yeah, realistically, I went to 6 after 9, and then I bogeyed 10 and bogeyed 12. And then clawed my way back and had some, and still missed some possible ones. So, it's disappointing because I just didn't do much on the first 2 days. I lost so many shots on the first 2 holes, so those 2 days. So that's what's really hurt me this week.
Nick, right now, let's go out to 16. Ben Wright is there.
And Ben Crenshaw has this putt for par to remain at 9 under. And so he is in the group with Pate, Wadkins, and Watson at 9. And there you see the leaderboard. Olazabal tied with Woosnam, just a stroke advantage, back to 14.
And lurking 1 shot back with this 35-footer, Tom Watson down the hill. He needed to retro the bat shoots on that thing. He hit it about 8 feet by the hole. That was a full hammer right there. Tom started off a little bit shaky with the putter, missing a couple little putts. The whole day you're just kind of catching up. Nick.
Hello there.
Nick, if there's anything about this guy, any type of weakness, is probably his putting. He doesn't really have any weaknesses, but what do we look for here? Does he charge this putt down the hill, or what do you think?
Woodsy, you talk about Woodsy? I don't know. I mean, everybody, of course, everybody makes a big thing about the guys missing putts. But if you're there, 90% of the time putting for birdie, you can't make all of them. So everybody says, "Oh, you're a bad putter. You're missing all the putts." To be scoring the way they've been scoring the last, those last 2 days, there's certainly, well, I saw on TV, there was certainly plenty going in.
Olazabal letting everything out of the utmost importance. Yes, that's a good one. Back to 14.
Down the hill, great speed, perfect speed. Oh, just didn't take the break. Whoa. He's got about 2.5, 3 feet left. He's got a 15 feet.
Lanny Watkins. Similar type of drive, almost as good, just a yard or two in it. Back to 14.
Ian's going to putt out first. Tom is right behind him in his line, so he elected just to putt out. These are nervous right here, 2.5, 3 feet. Beautiful, right in the middle. He remains tied with Olazabal. Both of the players will be on the par 5, and they're going to have to wait again on this 15th hole. After the long wait, remember on 13, he hit a quick hook over there in the trees that bounced into the water hazard. Boy. On the back side, Tom Watson has not made a par yet. It is a fun ride on a roller coaster. This is from 8 feet away for his par, to remain at -9. Yes, sir. A scary 2-putt, but a 2-putt nonetheless, as they will go wait on the 15th tee. And let's go back to the studio.
One more thing about your round today, Nick. We were out there at 2 when you made eagle, and for a moment it really reminded me of the start 2 years ago when you made one across the green for eagle.
Well, I thought of that as well, because as I walked down the hill, I thought I'd made one from then. I started laughing because the way I'd been chipping, I thought, I'll probably be pleased to get it on the green. Well, come on, camera, faster. There you go.
There you go. That got you to 6 under in a hurry. And then at 16, I like this moment. You know that? I thought it was great.
This was what you call left edge firm. Oh, where the hell's he going, you were sort of saying. When I actually hit it, I thought, yeah, here we go. I'll get the brush out. I think he couldn't get a move on last week.
Amazing. Now, looking at the lead at 10 under par, the last 2 years you've been in this competition where with 2 or 3 holes to go, it's coming down to the wire with 4 or 5 players still in it. Where do you think they have to get to win this thing right now? Give me a number.
That's a good one. Who knows? I mean, everybody's very aggressive right there. You know if you go backwards, that's it, you're out of it. So, I mean, in theory, they've got a birdie 15 and then maybe one more, I would have thought. That's possibly the key.
So maybe 11?
Yeah, 11 or 12, it's, well, I think 11 or 12. I think really one or two of them's going to birdie 15. And then, the way these guys are playing, the last 3 holes, if they hit it in the right spot, they're all reasonably flat spots to putt from. You could curl one in at 16, get it close, and 17, it's back there, but if you hit it in the right place, it's a chance. And 18, if you get it back there, you've got a chance. So. Good luck, boys.
Yes, we'll see you during the jacket ceremony.
All right, sure will.
Thank you, Nick. Let's go out to 17. Ben Crenshaw, and Vern Lundquist has the call.
All right, Jim. If Ben Crenshaw is going to get to 11 or 12, he needs to get something done here and on 18. Ben is in the right side, just off the fairway. Difficult to call it rough. Those of you who were with us yesterday, Jack Nicklaus had a similar shot from this spot, but the flag today cut in its traditional Sunday position back right up on a little plateau. Bunker will not come into play, but we have seen any number of shots over the green or kicking off to the right-hand side. 17th hole, 400 yards, and Ben is 185 yards out. That's almost the exact spot from which Jack Nicklaus hit yesterday. He's only a shot out of the lead, but he only has 2 holes left. That means it's going left. Well, it trickles on, but that's a good 85 feet away. And even with his deft touch, he'll have to accomplish something to get it down in 2. Back to 15.
And they're striding about at the top of the hill and practice swinging. Olazabal and, of course, Watkins champing at the bit. Likewise on the tee, there is a wait because Larry Mize went in the water here with his second shot and is putting for a bogey. It all causes the log jam. This is it for Mize for a bogey to get to 4 under if he makes this. That's to 4 under par for Mize. McGee birdied the hole, and now Olazabal and Watkins are both in the region of 220 yards from the flagstick, and Watkins is first with a 2-iron. Did he hit that a bit chunky? Yes, he did. And I can just about say for certainty that's his winning chance is dissipated after birdie, eagle, birdie here. He hit that very heavy. It's, Kenny, it's really terrible for him. He does like to play so much more quickly.
It hurts him more than anybody because he's so fast and he hates the way. He'll complain about slow play as much as anybody, and he just lost his rhythm. And to hit it where he hit it is really missed because he missed it by, what, 30 yards?
That's right. Now, Olazabal has a 3-iron. He's had birdie, birdie, and, of course, that rather untidy bogey yesterday, if you were watching. He has not been really very accurate. He pushed his 3-iron yesterday into the bunker to the right of the green. Oh, these moments of indecision, and the crowd starts to just murmur in anticipation. That's a tremendous noise as Olazabal hits at 16 because Andrew McGee almost had a hole-in-one. That's a great shot. Under the circumstances, it was not easy to concentrate with these 2 greens in such close proximity. You're bound to get a lot of noise from 16, and this is where players very often have to back off and wait. Now on the tee, and finally cleared to play, Tom Watson. This is just a time where you must rip it at all costs to get as short an iron as possible to the green. Watson had a huge drive yesterday. Looks like he's got one today. Yes, that is very big. That is less, I would say, than Well, it's round about 200, possibly. Now, Woosnam. You do not want to hook the ball. The pine trees down the left bar your shot to the green. Well, he's let that go to the right, as you can see. Now, there are the big mounds, and that's, whoa! Well, that's between the 15th and 17th fairways, but it's very long, and he can get up from there. To 16 we go now, and Andrew McGee. This was what all the noise was about. Looked pretty unhappy. And there you see why. And then it starts to feed. Well, you can understand now. To 17.
Ben Crenshaw's hopes might rest on this putt. Well, he's got a 5-footer for his par at 17, and Olazabal's still in great shape at 15. So Ben, one of the more popular winners ever with his victory here in 1984. And he will take his time. That much to stay one back, at least for the moment. Oh, that's a terrific two-putt. Well, he probably needs a birdie at 18, but he got through 17 in fine shape. And he heads to the 18th tee. We go back to 16.
Andrew McGee taps in to get to 8 under par. And back at the 15th, just across the water, Olazabal has chosen to chip the ball. It's very, very fast down the slope. Well, he's had to back off because there was a cheer for Larry Mize on the 16th green. Now ready again.
Ben, I was very impressed by his concentration on the second shot there.
Yes, with all that noise from the 16th. Oh, that's a beautiful chip. Absolutely beautiful. In the heart of the hole. Couldn't afford to let it gather pace, or he'd have gone a long way by. There's Ian Woosnam's position. He's got 195 yards to the flagstick. It's an open shot. There are no trees to bar his path.
Ben, he got a tremendous break there, in case you didn't know it, is that it didn't hit anybody in the gallery, and it went right into them, and it just kept on running down there.
Indeed. And now that's Lanny Watkins chipping. Oh! Well, well. Chip for a par for Lanny Watkins. There's a little intestinal fortitude for you. That keeps him in the game. And now Olazabal for birdie to take the lead outright. With Woosnam very aware of that fact, having watched it all from the top of the hill.
218 to the pin.
You heard the caddy say 218 to the pin. Well,
Yeah.
That'll be probably a 4-iron. We'll try and confirm that.
Just come back on the right, please. That's okay, that's okay. It's all right.
As you can see, he's birdied the hole each day.
Okay.
He's got the wind
Okay.
in his favor.
Get out. Stand, please. Get out. Get out.
Well, that's a fine shot. Almost identical position. Just a slightly better than Olazabal in that he's in the first fringe, first cut. And it was a 5-iron for Watson. What a great stroke. What an incredible stroke there. Just one par on this 9 for Tom Watson. Birdied the 10th, bogeyed the 11th, double bogeyed the 12th, eagled the 13th, and now a great eagle opportunity here after his par at the 14th. The 16th hole, as the crowd settles quickly. Olazabal doesn't appear to hear them. So great is his concentration. Made a birdie here on Friday, otherwise par. Pulled it into the bunker. And I have a feeling that might be semi-plugged. Landed very hard. And that is going to be a devilishly difficult shot. There you see his record on the par 3s is mainly due to that quadruple bogey at the 6th. Now Lanny Watkins, who made a wonderful birdie here yesterday. He knows he's had one marvelous escape. He's looking right. Now that should feed down, but well below the hole. He'll have 18 feet uphill. And the roar is for Tom Watson. Little Woosey has a putter in his hand, so he is not in position of having to chip the ball like Olazabal did. And another look at the leaderboard. Olazabal in real trouble because he's got no room between himself and the flagstick in that deep bunker to the left of 16. Woosnam in a very good position to 2-putt at worst. There you see him. And of course, Pate, Crenshaw, Watkins, and Watson. But Watson, a very, very great chance for an eagle. This is almost a double break. It goes to the player's left at first and then tries to get a little bit back to the right. He has really played very well on the par 5s, as you saw. This to take the lead. Oh, it caught up in the fringe a bit. And there you see it worked back to the right. Very good. Certain birdie. We'll go to the 18th.
Crenshaw. 165 yards, his second shot.
Going left. Watch out, Gary.
There'll be a ruling on that one.
Well, Woosnam gets his 4th birdie here of the tournament. To be 10 under for the par 5s, and now at the 16th hole. Olazabal. Well, it came out of that crater, as you can see. About as good as he could do in the circumstances. And now Tom Watson for an eagle to tie the lead. It'll be a triple tie if he makes this with Olazabal and Woosnam. Yes! Second eagle of the week. And the United States is in with a chance again against the might of Europe. Huge and appreciative gallery, fairly fired up. There you see it. Tom Watson, Jose Maria Olazabal, and Ian Woosnam tied for the lead. Olazabal with a makeable par putt at 16 to retain a share of that. And that's where we go to see Lanny Wadkins with this to get to 10 under. Up the slope. Little right to left break at the finish. No, never gave it enough. He will remain at 9 under. And now, the most important putt for Olazabal, because his rivals are watching from the tee. The putt will take the same direction as that of Watkins. Tom Weiskopf, you know this putt as well as anybody. Would you say right edge?
I think it's a little outside the hole, Ben. Speed is the big important thing here. If you play it outside quite a bit, you know, you have to hit it softer. If you play less break, you have to hit it firmer, and there's always the fear of catching the lip on a putt like this.
It was trying to get away, but it counts as a 3. The crowd are cheering because the scores have just been put up. Now Tom Watson. Predictably pumped up. Going to have awfully slick shot down the slope from there. If there is the need of a playoff, it will begin at number 10, as usual. Well, 2 peas in a pod, and those are difficult shots they've got from there. Down a glassy slope, it's not going to be easy for them to make pars. to 17.
And on the tee, Jose Maria Olazabal, co-leader now with Tom Watson and Ian Woosnam. 400-yard par four. 2 trees flank the fairway, causing potential problems, particularly the one on the right side. You see it just behind his head. May have glanced off that tree. And back over to the 15th fairway. That is perhaps the 7th player in the last 14 who have come through who have made contact with that large pine tree on the right side. Now he will have a clear shot. It will be a blind shot in all likelihood. But there's Lanny Watkins, whose hopes for his first Masters may have died in the water on 15. Jose Maria Olazabal and Ian Woosnam are tied with Tom Watson, 11 under par in the final round at Augusta.
What a finish, and Tom Watson looking for his 3rd green jacket. He last won here 10 years ago in '81 when he outdueled Nicklaus and Miller, and a guy named Greg Norman surfaced for the first time. He was 4th. But Watson's won only once in the last 7 years. That was back in '87 at Nabisco. Let's get to 18.
Par for Crenshaw.
Got a pretty good break there, not break at 18. The fellow said he had put his hand up there and told the the rules committee that he didn't flick the ball.
Back to 16.
Now, Woosnam first to play, so Watson will learn from it. Barely set it rolling. Now you see it gather pace down the slope, and that will go a long way by. And he barely breathed on it. Now Tom Watson will have learned from that. Hopefully. Ken Venturi, he's hold the long putts. What he doesn't want to leave himself is a short one, I imagine.
Well, he's taken the right club, Ben. And the one thing he learned a lot from Woosnam, he just has to get this over the fringe, and he's going down there.
That won't come back. I think, as you said, that was the right choice of club. You couldn't get it any closer with a chip, Kenny, could you, really?
Well, if you chip, Ben, you put some spin on it, but this is not the time to be testing your nerves. You have to go with what's the safest.
Well, unfortunately, that's not Tom Watson's forte, the short putt, as we go to the 17th.
And here is Jose Maria Olazabal. Second shot, 170 yards out. What a contrast, Olazabal and Woosnam.
21, 181.
Each in their 4th Masters appearance. And now, according to his caddy, 181 yards. Tommy, it's a bit of a blind shot. Does that present any particular difficulty? Tom Weisgoff?
Vern, to answer that, no. He's got the yardage.
To 16.
Ian Woosnam for par.
What a brave putt. There's a man who really loves the battle, doesn't he? Aggressive little devil.
Now, Watson. Straight uphill putt. Firm.
Yes! Wow.
Over to 17. That caused you a bit of a fright, Vern.
Yes, it did, Ben, and you saw Jose Maria back away as the crowd reacted to Watson's par-saving putt. Now, second shot, 181 yards. Flagstick back right up on a knoll. Safely on, hole high, probably 45 feet away, maybe 50, uphill putt. Well, the young man who first appeared here as the British amateur champion at the age of 20, now recognized as one of the outstanding golfers in the world. And back on the tee, Ian Woosnam, Tom Watson. Lanny Watkins yet to hit. Second shot, middle of the fairway.
Come on, Win. Move it, Win. Move it, Win.
Wynn didn't move it, or moved it too much. Remember 2 years ago, Scott Hoke in a playoff with Nick Faldo? He was down that hill and somehow put it within 3 feet. Kenny, we've only got 2 holes to play here, but you've got the experience of Watson, the 18 appearances here, matched against the relative youth of Woosnam and Olazabal. Which is most important?
Well, I think experience means everything, but right now I think the first man that gets to 12, Vern, wins the tournament.
Okay. Perfect. Now Woosnam. You're taking over that tree on the right side. And predictably long. He's in great shape. Hooked it left side of the fairway. What a big drive. A three-way tie at the top. Olazabal, Watson, and Woosnam, with a quartet of golfers just 2 back.
I think many people are still stunned that Tom Watson got right back into this tournament on the back 9. It was agonizing to watch some of the missed putts early in the round. Right now, let's go to Vern at 17.
Lanny Watkins, whoa. Oh, dear. That was his 3rd shot.
And then Watson, Vern Lundquist, also knocked it, of course, in the water at 12 for a double bogey. But he came back at 13. This was for eagle. That lifted him to 9 under par. And then Watson at 15 after a brilliant iron shot, the intrepid one, putting for another eagle on the back 9. Eagles twice on the back, and Watson's tied for the lead. We go back to 17.
All right, Jim, for at least the 3rd time I can recall in the back 9, Olazabal's been bothered by someone in the gallery. He backed away. Happened to him back on 15 and on 10. Now gathering speed as it comes downhill. Good putt. About 2.5 feet left. And now Lanny Watkins diminishing hopes. He has to save par from off the green. Lanny, whose best finish ever here was last year when he tied for third. Missed that short putt back on 14. Seemed to unnerve him a little bit. Then the long, long wait on 15. Put it in the water. He lost his enthusiasm, even though he saved par on that hole. That'll drop him back to 8. And end any hopes for this year. Downhill, just a bit of a break. He's a cool one. He hasn't had a consistent day, but it has been effective, and he stays tied at the top at 11 under par. But back in the fairway, the final twosome of the day, Watson and Woosnam. Olazabal will head to the 18th tee. Watson first, second shot. Not pleased. Now Woosnam, big drive, 280 yards.
Take your time.
He reacted. Somebody said something in the gallery that I think upset him.
I think it really upset him a little bit. He's going to give a little smile on there, but I'm against that, Vern. I think you're looking at athletes.
Kenny, I did not hear what was said, but I know that Ian walked toward his, and all of a sudden his head snapped up, and he kind of shook his head in disgust. Now he gathers himself. There you are. Make it 18 feet for Ian Woosnam. The 33-year-old from Wales, who was making his 4th appearance in Augusta. And he joins Tom Watson in a stroll toward the 17th green.
And on the tee, Olazabal.
All he wants is take the bunkers out of play.
God, baby.
Look out.
Get away.
Look out.
Get away. Just the way it stands. Back to 17.
2 of those 3 on the green here. Watson will be first. This will be an uphill putt. It'll come from left to right. Kenny, I don't know how aggressive you want to get with this one.
Well, the one thing, you know, this is, again, we're talking about lag putts. Tom has not lagged the putts. He's made some good putts coming in. He's made the 2 eagle putts. He made a good save at 14. But you just don't want to get this outside a 2-foot range.
Mm-hmm.
We were here at 18 with Larry Mize was putting it just right below us, and you don't realize how your voice carries up here.
Woosnam will wait while Watson will putt. How significant is this hole been for Tom? He won his first Masters championship in '77 with a birdie at this hole. Came back to win in '81. He was a part of that stirring drama and one of the great Masters finishes ever in 1975. The duel between Nicklaus and Miller and Tom Weiskopf. The young Tom Watson was then paired with Nicklaus in the final round. Well, that's a dandy putt. He did exactly what he had hoped. Got within 2 feet. I expect Ian Woosnam will be a little more aggressive with his. Became a pro at the age of 18. Failed qualifying school 3 different times. Hero of the Ryder Cup for the European team. First appeared here in 1988, opened with a round of 81. Missed the cut. Came back and has played well the last 2 years. Won his first tournament earlier this year on the American PGA Tour. And now in quest of his first major. And this would give him sole possession of the lead. Unexpected. The trio at the top stays there. If Tom Watson sinks this 2-foot putt. And the crowd, which had started to move, will now quiet down. .218.
Very difficult for Olazabal. That's a 7-iron.
155 yards. Hole well in the back today, not like where it was in the front. You can draw back off the hill. Look out. And he draws it back in the bunker again.
That bunker in front of the green. A long bunker shot left for Olazabal. Watkins is 150 yards away.
That could be close.
You can't say that Lanny Watkins didn't have some chances. On the tee now, the last two. Woosnam and Watson.
The only thing about the two, Watson has played the 18th hole with 3 4s, and Ian Woosnam has had 2 bogeys. He's played it for the first 3 days at 2 over, so the edge on the 18th goes to Watson. Would never dream it, but Watson making double bogey at 11. I mean at 12 and bogey at 11, and then coming back with 2 eagles.
2 eagles. That's phenomenal.
And he made a real pressure putt at 16.
Speaking of pressure, there's a lot of pressure on Olazabal as he comes up to 18.
Well, Ben Wright says he's the best from around the greens, and this will give a chance to prove it.
Won't it ever? If he wants to continue playing, he better be.
He has to make par to stay at 11, hopefully to go down 10 on the playoff hole, but then he has to also hope that, you know, that Watson and Woosnam will make birdie.
Watson on the tee.
You the man.
He hit it right. I think that is right, Pat. It sounded like it hit pretty solid, too.
In the trees. He may not be the man.
I can't tell how close he is to that tree. Woosnam is going with the driver.
It's Watson's ball in the pine straw.
He can drive it past the bunkers if he lets it go from left to right.
He let it go.
I tell you what, he didn't leave anything on the 18th tee.
Over the green, Olazabal. Woosnam is safe. Way left.
Got the carry all the way to the hole. Anything short will back down. Get up some more. Watch out.
Look out.
Anything short will back down. Right where Steve Pate had to make his putt from. We've said it many times, Pat. The longest, I mean, the most difficult shot there is the long bunker shot around the green.
It was almost very good. Another couple of feet.
Ian Woosnam's tee shot is out on the practice area that's between 9 and 18. Players don't use it, but the members do. But he is very long.
He'll use it now.
He'll hit one shot from it, that's for sure. But he's got a very good angle. Really, coming at that angle is not bad. So I don't think Tom has much of a shot where he is. I don't think he can get at that thing. He's got a swing, but he hasn't much to work with.
Almost an identical putt, as you said, that Steve Pate made for his par.
In fact, Steve Pate had the same bunker shot, and that ball did exactly the same thing. But right now, I don't see either Watson, both of them making bogey on this hole, so he gets into a playoff. But stranger things have happened. Won't get there.
He hit that pretty hard, too.
He'll have that for bogey, where he's had 3 straight pars here also.
Watson has just about the same shot that Woosnam had yesterday. He made a bogey. On the pine straw, that's the ball of Tom Watson.
He doesn't have much of a shot.
Just got it up here, pretty smart.
Woosnam way left off the tee. Back at the green, this is Lanny Watkins for birdie. All the chances he had.
Well, he'll think of the backhand he hit on Friday at number 9 and missed the putt, and the short putt he missed at 14 and put it in the water at 15. There's a difference of 3 to 4 shots.
Olazabal now has, what, 2.5, 3 feet for par? Oh, for bogey, beg your pardon.
Yes. Well, his first bogey at 18, but drops him back to 10 under. He'll go in and sign his scorecard and sit and wait.
Watkins finished -9. Olazabal -10. Here's Watson.
He has a swing. He's got to go through this opening that she's looking straight ahead, but that's right at the bunker that you saw Olazabal go into. And trying to cut it, he's got to manufacture something here.
He's got a 3-iron.
That'll find the bunker. That'll find the bunker. That's the only shot he had. I think what he's trying to do is hit it so hard and carry the bunker pad, hit it up into the gallery and roll down where he'd have a little bit of a pitch. But that's what he had in mind there.
Woosnam.
He's so far left we can't see him from our tower. People have cleared it. They're trying to get them all cleared out. There you are, right there.
There's his ball nestled up against the other side.
It's like trying to part the Red Sea. Well, there's a shot. He does not have a difficult shot, Pat. He's coming at an angle, but he's taking the bunker out of play. He's got the full width, and he's going against the hill. So all he has to do now before he hits it is move about 2,000 to 3,000 people.
And there are more security people going down to help move him back. Woosnam saying, come on by. Please hurry. Here comes the tribute to Tom Watson. So easily he could have been discouraged. Did he ever hang in there?
Not a Tom Watson. I'll tell you right now, I've known Tommy since he was a young man. And of course, he's taken under the wing of Byron Nelson, who taught Tommy all his golf. And when he got to get on tour, and tell you what, he's got a marvelous record. 5 British Opens for starters.
I'm on my knees there. I can't go very fast.
Well, you look at Watson, you look at Nicklaus, you look at all those, they don't have any give up in them.
No, that's not a word they know about. Woosnam coming up for a look. His caddy's already been up once. And he's still trying to get the people back far enough.
Don't jump in. You're not quite tall enough. Look at this. Now that's a narrow fairway, Pat, looking up there. One thing he has in his favor, his caddy has got the yardage book. He knows exactly how long the shot is.
They're still trying to get the people back.
Ranging forward. Come on, keep it back. Keep it back. Get back.
In the meantime, Watson waits. Realizing, of course, the difficulty he has in the bunker. And all this time, Olazabal waits.
Olazabal has not left the scoring tent. He has signed his card, but he's not about to leave there.
It's a 9-iron.
Well, he wants the club he can hit hard, Pat. He doesn't want to set anything that he can back off or hit easy. He wants to hit it firm and hit it as far on the top shelf as he can.
You're the man! You're the man!
That's coming down the hill. Oh, held up. I tell you what, that's not a cinch par either.
It sure is not. Watson's in the bunker. Woosnam's on the fringe, and Olazabal is waiting.
Well, we started this day talking about the cherished walk up the 18th. Now it's a matter of a cherished par at the 18th. Let's get back out there. Pat and Kenny.
Watson. Almost hit the flagstick. He got it on the upper shelf.
That's the most difficult shot, Pat. We've been saying that. That is just, you just almost impossible to get that thing close. Now all the putting and all the practice he's been doing, and for all the other holes, it's right down to here.
Woosnam could get this close. He is the odds-on favorite to win.
This is not going to be a lofted club. This will be something that's going to be more. Oh, he's taking out a putter. That definitely doesn't have much loft.
Oh,
I thought maybe he'd take a maybe 6-iron or something and bump it up there, but he has to come up over that rise, and if you take that, you might hit that little slope. So as he took the putter at 16, and this, when you look at it, it's the safest shot to play. There's no stubbing in it. We got some golf left.
now if Watson makes.
Well, I was saying first to 12 wins. Well, 12 is out of the question. Now it boils down first in wins.
Who can stay at 11? Olazabal is at 10. This is a par putt for Watson to stay at 11. Woosnam has a difficult putt as well.
We watched the, you'll remember that putt that Woosnam had. That's the one that Faldo had exactly and left it on the top side. This is downhill and moved just a little bit to the left. And he knows what he has to do. Slow down. Slow down. Oh my.
Now to Woosnam.
My hands didn't get this sweaty when I was playing.
You know, it doesn't look like it's bothering Ian Woosnam, but if it isn't, something's wrong.
You can't tell what's going on inside, but it's the Masters. He knows he makes the putt. He's the Masters champion. He said he'd give 10 titles to win one Masters. This putt is right edge. If he puts the ball outside with any speed at all, it will not break.
Got it.
Hold up, boys. Watson has to putt. And also, not only is he courageous, Watson, he's a champion.
It'll be subdued for a moment, but only until Tom Watson putts. The Masters champion.
It's only deserving that Tom makes this. It was a gallant try, and the two eagles, I take my hat off to him.
Take your hat off to Ian Woosnam as well.
But you could have bet anything, Pat. I know he's been short on some putts. I knew that when that putt was going down that hill that he was never going to leave that one short.
We'll be back with the presentation of the green jacket to Ian Woosnam in a moment.
Well, they all came to the 18th tied, Woosnam, Olazabal, and Watson. And Woosnam has won his first major by claiming the green jacket with a par at 18. And here's a look back at another great Masters. It started on Thursday, weather-wise, well, with today, the brightest day of the tournament. Sam Snead at 78, dazzling the galleries the day before at the par 3 contest. He got it started with Gene Sarazen at 89. What a great moment to be out early on Thursday. And another old master surfaced in the opening round, Jack Nicklaus. Watch him at 16. He's always owned the 16th, hasn't he? And he was satisfied with an opening round 68. He was one back of the leaders, one of whom was Lanny Watkins, rolling it in for birdie at 17. He shot 67 that day, along with Gallagher and McCumber. And on Friday, a cloudy day, but a brilliant day of golf that'll long be remembered around here. Lanny Watkins getting careless on the 9th. Cost him a double, and he ended up 2 shots behind Woosnam today for the green jacket. Still, he came back Friday 4 under on the back 9 after that crazy moment. Meanwhile, Nicklaus, after hitting his tee shot at 12 into the pond, his third rolled back in the water as well, and he suffered a quadruple bogey 7. Nicklaus was paired with Watson, and he took the lead right here with Eagle at 15. With Watson and Nicklaus paired together, it was shades of Turnberry, 77 for a moment. At 16, Nicklaus, the boomerang-style putt for birdie. Maybe he did have a little help on that one. But in a game of can you top this, right behind him, Tom Watson. And wasn't it good to see Ray Floyd get back in the hunt after the devastating loss last year in the playoff to Nick Faldo? His tee shot at 16 Friday. But you know, the moment all golf fans will remember from Friday's magical second round was the walk up the 18th. 2 great champions, arm in arm, step for step. I don't know how many more chances we'll have to see these 2 walk to the 18th in contention at a major. For Saturday, well, that marked the day, the emergence of the international contingent. Ian Woosnam of Wales, after a 66 on Friday, kept it going on Saturday, rolling 4 birdies in a row on the back 9, including this at 12. And Jose Maria Olazabal. No wonder he has that kind of touch on the greens. He grew up just 20 yards from a practice putting green at Royal San Sebastian. Larry Mize, though. Folks, I'm not sure you'll ever find the putt to top this one. And a 66 for Mize put him in contention going into the final round. And here it is today. The sun came out. And this is Nick Faldo. He had made an earlier eagle at the second hole. By this time, though, his hopes were gone for a third straight green jacket. He amused the gallery. Great sportsmanship by Faldo at 16, and a good read as well. Tom Watson, after a double at 12, he dumped it in the water, but came back for eagle. And he eagled 15 as well. But it all came to the 18th. Olazabal's second shot. From bunker, back into the front bunker. And a bogey. 5 at 18 would be one too many. Watson for par. Watson would finish in a tie for third. Ian Woosnam had a putt at the 18th, a putt he had dreamed about to win his first major, and right in the heart. And Ian Woosnam of Wales has won the green jacket. Stay tuned for 60 minutes immediately following the conclusion of the Masters, except in the Pacific and Mountain time zones, where it will be seen at its regularly scheduled time. We welcome you back to the Butler Cabin. Jim Nance along with Ford Harden, the Masters Tournament Chairman, and Mr. Harden, we're joined by Phil Mickelson, the low amateur at this year's Masters, and Ian Woosnam is here as well. He has signed the card. It's official now. And Nick Faldo, who had won, of course, the green jacket in both 1989 and 1990. Another great tournament. I don't know how you do it.
I don't really know either. Starting with Sandy's finish at 18, and then 2 playoffs with the Nick won on the 11th hole, and now Ian winning it on the last hole. Sometime we're going to have a pretty plain one, but these have been great, and I'd like to see them keep coming. I'd like to just say to Phil, congratulations. You've been getting a lot of congratulations this year for winning all kinds of things. I just want to know, did you have a good time here this week?
Oh, definitely, Mr. Hart. And I want to thank you and all the members here at Augusta National and everyone who contributed to this tournament. You really made this one of the more special moments of my life.
That's nice to hear. Ian, you helped me a little bit by winning, because you remember I invited you last December when you weren't eligible, and you sure confirmed my judgment at the time. Congratulations to you. You did a wonderful job today.
Thank you very much.
Jim, do you have anything you'd like to ask him?
Yes, I do. Thank you. I'd like to start with Phil. And first off, Phil, you've answered this question many times, but now, again, you have proven that you can compete with the greatest players in the world. You're a junior at Arizona State. I know you have the NCAAs coming up. You've won that before. What keeps you in school right now?
Well, Jim, the opportunity to play in tournaments like this, and there's opportunities in amateur golf that I don't want to pass up before I do turn pro. Plus, having to play against guys like Ian and Nick every week, it gets old hat being beaten every week.
I know we'll be seeing you many more times at the Masters in the years ahead. Congratulations. Ian, this is the moment you waited for. #1 in the world, but you so savored the thought of that first major championship. Tell me about it.
Well, you know, it was very hard work today. You know, I was in the lead, and all I wanted to do was just try and keep there, and it was difficult with the crowds to pull in for Tom and everything, and yeah, I just tried to keep cool and play my own game. You know, I had a bad shot on 13 and went in the water, but you know, I stayed relaxed and, you know, kept going, and you dream about something at the Masters. You watch this golf tournament on television all these years, and you dream of having to put on the last green to win, and I couldn't believe it. You know, I knocked it in. You know, it's just a dream come true.
The suspense at 18 was just overwhelming. You hit your tee shot way to the left. You had to clear out the people, but you were aware when you struck that putt, I know, that that was for the green jacket. We're going to show it to you one more time, Ian, and again, give us the thoughts through your mind as you made this your first major championship.
Well, it was a right to left putt, just on right lip, and it went smoothly, and it just, you know, all I was thinking about is keeping my head still, because I have a tendency to lift my head up, and I lifted it up, and about 3 feet to go, it was going to go in all the way. As long as it made it there, it was going a little slow. Yeah, it's lovely. Took me
Well
long.
done.
Thank you. Cheers.
Great stuff.
Thanks very much. Thanks a lot.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Ellie told me earlier in the week it's a 40 short. It fits. And it
Yep.
also fits Ian Woosnam, a winner of a major. And for all of us at CBS Sports, this is Jim Nance saying so long from Augusta, Georgia, where Ian Woosnam is the Prince of Wales, the Prince of Golf. He has won the Masters.